Okay, parents, picture this. You give your toddler a tiny piece of scrambled egg to try for the first time. 2 minutes later, he's rubbing his eyes, scratching his face, and you, trying not to panic, quickly Google, how do I identify an egg allergy? Or maybe your child gets a sore tummy after milk, but has ice cream with no problem. Or complains about green veggies making him sick, but suddenly his symptoms resolve when the cake comes out. Hi everyone, and welcome again to Tiny Matters with Dr. K. Today, we unpack the difference between true food allergy, food intolerance, and good old picky eating, because the game plan is completely different. So let's start with allergies. A food allergy happens when your immune system mistakes a perfectly harmless food like peanuts, fish, or milk as dangerous and reacts very aggressively to it. This may look like hives, an itchy rash, swelling of the face, vomiting or a runny tummy, and may even progress to signs of anaphylaxis like wheezing and a swollen airway. The key thing about allergies is it seems to happen quite often after having a food item, usually minutes to hours, and it tends to repeat itself every time the child eats that food. For example, if your child eats a slice of toast with peanut butter, then gets hives and a rash around the mouth, that's an allergy until proven otherwise. Now let's move on to food intolerances. This one is different because this time it's not the immune system that's struggling, it's the digestive system. Think of lactose intolerance, where the body doesn't make enough of the enzyme required to break down the sugar in milk. Children and adults may complain of bloating and gassiness, a sore tummy, vomiting, and diarrhea. Unlike allergies, intolerances are rarely life-threatening. So although they're uncomfortable, you'll rarely see the quick swelling and the airway compromise that you're likely to see with a true food allergy. And then there's the big one, picky eating. Now this has nothing to do with the immune system, nothing to do with the digestive system, and everything to do with behavior and preference. Children are notorious for being selective with food, particularly toddlers. It's part of their normal development, their way of learning to say no and learning to decipher and make decisions between what they want and what they don't want. They may refuse green vegetables one day, they may want to eat exactly the same food day in and out, and may reject something completely, purely based on color or texture. While this may be frustrating, please note, it is completely normal. It is not an intolerance and most definitely not an allergy. There are instances where picky eating can become a problem. If your child is so picky that they are not growing well at all, if they're clearly lacking in important minerals like iron or calcium, if they completely reject entire food groups, or if meal times are filled with severe anxiety, in these cases, it may be a sign of something bigger. Sensory processing disorders and restrictive food intake disorders need professional help. Let's recap. As a parent, how do you tell the difference? Allergies are fast reactions, often involving the skin, swelling, or breathing. They can be dangerous. Intolerances cause tummy troubles. They're usually a delayed reaction, and they are uncomfortable but not life-threatening. Picky eating is behavioral, preference-driven, and not life-threatening at all. And remember, you don't have to figure it all out at once. Keep a diary, talk to a professional, and we can figure it out together. Practical tips for parents. Here are a few practical strategies you can try at home. For allergies, always read labels carefully. Have an action plan and emergency medication if required. For intolerances, try eliminating the suspected food and see if symptoms persist. Look for alternatives like lactose-free milk. For picky eating, keep offering a variety without pressure. Model healthy eating yourself and celebrate the small wins, like that small bite of broccoli. So whether it's an allergy, intolerance, or picky eating, understanding what it is and how to deal with it can take a big chunk off your plate, literally. Meal times don't have to feel like a battlefield. Remember, you're not alone. Take notes, keep a diary, and ask your pediatrician to help you. We can figure out the solutions together. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Tiny Matters with Dr. K. If you liked this episode, share it with a fellow parent or a friend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your questions in the comments below. And remember, stay kind and stay curious.